Alberta's Q1 2023 market update. If you are considering moving to Alberta, but you're not quite sure which city to go to, this is the best video for you. Hey everybody, my name is Leanna Martens. Welcome to my channel if you're new. I produce 2 videos a week about everything living in Edmonton, moving to Edmonton, and Edmonton real estate, because I'm a local Edmonton real estate professional. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel now so people just like you can find the information that they need. Make sure if you are considering making a move, call me, email me, text me, and me and my team will be sure to get back to you. I'm going to go through all the cities and make sure you watch all the way to the end, because you'll find out which is the best city for jobs and which has the best priced real estate. All right, with no further ado, let's get to the video. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to start with the sales activity. So this is broken down into the different segments of the market. So we've got your detached homes, apartments, semi-detached, and row homes. So most relocations that I'm working with are detached. So I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video, that is likely the market that you're going to be in. And if that's the case, then that is the color that you're going to be looking at, right? So that's that dark blue color here. And so what you can also see is that this goes into years. So look at the last 3 years, right? COVID years, and then this last year here. What you want to look at to give you an idea is basically where are the sales at for each one of these major cities in Alberta. So we've got Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge, Red Deer, Medicine Hat, Fort McMurray, Grande Prairie, and Alberta. So the 2 major cities are Calgary and Edmonton, but there are a lot of people that are still considering Lethbridge, considering Red Deer, Medicine Hat, Fort Mac, Grande Prairie as well. So this will show you the year to date, year over year. So this is because last year was like an anomalous COVID year in terms of real estate. So there was massive amounts of real estate sales. And again, this is like a worldwide phenomenon as a result of COVID. So the challenge with this is, you know, this is pretty comparable in terms of Calgary and Edmonton. They're both down relatively the same, 30%. But it's not going to be the same right now in 2023 as it was in 2022 because it was just off the charts. So, how you really can interpret this is just to get an idea of which of these markets is having more or less sales, right? So you can see like the smaller markets like Medicine Hat, it hasn't had that much of a shift in sales activity. It's only down 15%. But some of our larger markets, Edmonton, Calgary, Fort McMurray, big time, Grande Prairie. So overall, the sales are down about 30%. But if you look at the 10-year average spread, this is what's so important. That's why you can't just look at year over year, because you really got to have perspective, which is exactly what this slide shows, of the last 10 years, right? So you can see how anomalous the COVID years were. Okay. So what you can see here, just in terms of employment growth, if you look at, we'll start at Calgary. Calgary's employment growth is 7%, Edmonton's is 4%. Red Deer, so even though housing prices are good there, you also have to consider the economy and the strength of the job market. So Red Deer may not be the best decision, even if real estate prices are good there, their economy isn't as strong. So Lethbridge is strong, Camrose is, and then they just take all of Alberta. And you know what's really great is this is part of the reason that you are watching this video and there are so many people that are relocating to Alberta right now, is because our overall economy is so much stronger than many of the other provinces. And you can see this here, it's stronger than all of Canada as a whole. So the employment growth, what we're seeing, and remember this is Q1, so that was 2022, and now we're going to go into 2023. So Calgary's employment growth overall the last year of 2022 was stronger than Edmonton. Then right at the top, we've got Calgary, Lethbridge, Camrose, right? Now when we go into our first Q1 in 2023, this is where you really can see things shift and level off. So you can see that the job growth has really decreased in Calgary. So it's gone from very strong to a negative growth. So it's not growing at all. But Edmonton stayed very strong and quite consistent. So it's up 4% last year. It's up 3% right now. Regardless of inflation, regardless of high interest rates. So that's a really good sign in terms of long-term stability and security. Red Deer is down. Lethbridge has decreased quite a bit. And Wood Buffalo has gone up. Camrose has gone down. So the best indicator that you have here in terms of the overall stability and strength sustainably within our inflationary environment is Edmonton. So what we're going to do now is look at, they're calling it turnaround in migration. So basically, if you are from one of these provinces, and you might be watching this and you're actually not even in Canada, you could be in the United States, you could be abroad, but we're looking nationally right now in terms of the in-migration into Alberta. So this is from last year, and this is pretty substantial. So what you can look over here is this is from 2006. So if we look at the top right corner, from 2006 to 2022, you're seeing kind of the overall trends of in-migration. So there's different types. So we've got the interprovincial migration, which this map is really looking at. And then you've got your international migration. And that's going to be the green bars in this graph. And you can see like a massive increase from, like in last year, it was pretty exponential. It's gone up a good 2 points. From about 1% to 3% from international migration. Now, let's have a look just at where the majority of people are coming from. And also, let's consider what happens when you have a lot of in-migration. So the things that we're looking at right now is we're looking at the strength of the economy. Next, we're going to be looking at real estate values overall across Alberta and the strength of pricing and the economy. So when you have this amount of in-migration, so we've got a substantial amount of people coming from BC, a substantial amount of people coming from Ontario. And then we also have the territories, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Quebec, and the islands, the Atlantic provinces. But those two provinces represent the majority of it. And the reason is because it is so expensive for real estate and the cost of living. So as inflation goes up, the benefit is that if you had a $500,000 house, a $700,000 house, an $800,000 house, the inflationary pressures to real estate because of the supply and demand in both of those provinces have allowed many people to cash out at $1 to $2 million, which gives you this massive nest egg. And real estate values are they're a third of what you're going to be spending in both of those provinces. So this is just a really good graphic to actually have a look so you can see and identify if you are within one of these provinces. And if you are looking and you're international and abroad, this will show you what is happening in Canada overall in terms of migration. So let's now have a look at real estate values. So guys, this is the detached. So this is single family detached activity across the entire province. So if we look at Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, Fort Mac, City of Grande Prairie, Lethbridge, and Medicine Hat, this is the months of supply. And so why that's important for you guys to consider is the more supply that you have, the more selection that you have as a buyer, number one, the less competition you have as a buyer, number two, and thirdly, the better the pricing is, number three. And so you can see in Calgary that they have very low supply. And then from there, you've got basically Red Deer, Lethbridge, and Medicine Hat with the lowest supply. And what that's going to do is that's going to be driving your pricing up. And the cities with the highest supply, there's three. There's Edmonton, Fort Mac, and the city of Grande Prairie. And so what that's going to be for you, if you're considering moving to Alberta in one of these cities, is it's going to be much more favorable for you as a buyer, because it's going to be more selection, more choice, less pressure to make a decision and pay above asking price in a competitive environment. Next, let's have a look at our pricing overall. So if you just look at the detached pricing to the right of this, you can get a look or this will give you an indication of where our prices are. So remember, this is looking year over year. So again, we're looking at the two COVID years. So 2021 to 2022, those are anomalous. What we really need to look at is this year. So 2023, let's look at the city of Calgary. So you can see that their pricing, again, because the supply is low, but what's also a major consideration is that their economy and their job creation is in the negative. So that is an absolute consideration when you're moving somewhere. Now, if we look at your pricing, our pricing is down. So we have super strong jobs. We have a good economy as well, less competition, more amount of inventory, and good pricing. And that's going to be similar with Fort McMurray. Again, you can see there's a correlation between both of these graphs. Grande Prairie and Lethbridge. So they're less competitive. There's longer supply. Therefore, your pricing is down. So if you look at these little orange dots, you can see where basically the highest and the most affordable real estate is. So the highest priced real estate is in Calgary, and you can see it gets lower within Edmonton, within Fort McMurray, the lowest in Grande Prairie. So Grande Prairie and Medicine Hat, they've got really reasonably priced real estate to compare across all the cities in Alberta. So I hope that information has supported you and served you to get an idea of how you can compare if you're considering moving to Alberta and right now in the research stages of like, where should I go, right? And looking at some of those economic factors that really drive your security as a family in terms of your quality of life, how much money does it cost, where can I get a job, can I transfer my job there, and where is the best place for us to be to make an intelligent financial decision. So I hope that information has served you well. Thank you for watching. If you like this information, you want more, you got to make sure you subscribe now so you do not miss the next market update, because I put these out every week. If you are looking to make a move, me and my team are relocation specialists. That's what we do. So you make sure that you text, call, email me, and I promise I will get back to you. And I will see you in the next video. I will see you soon.